By the end of this video, you're going to understand UFC Flyweight's Brandon Moreno and Kavanagh's skill sets using the Fighter Index to see where they're dangerous, where they're vulnerable, determine their paths of victory, and give them an overall Fighter Index score. Brandon Moreno fights with pace, heart, and constant problem-solving. At Flyweight, he blends sharp boxing with dangerous jiu-jitsu, making him a threat in every phase. He doesn't just react, he adjusts, building momentum as fights unfold. Whether it's scrambling through transitions or trading in the pocket, Moreno stays composed and active. What separates him is how comfortable he is in chaos. The longer exchanges stretch, the more confident and creative he becomes. Brandon Moreno's biggest vulnerability shows up in structured, tempo-controlled fights. He can give away early rounds while reading opponents. And when forced into clean, disciplined striking exchanges, he doesn't always dictate pace. Against elite speed and tight defensive fighters, his entries can get predictable, and he can absorb more damage than necessary. Moreno thrives in chaos, but when opponents deny scrambles and keep things technical, his advantages don't always separate as clearly. Kavanagh fights with precision and control. At Flyweight, his speed and timing immediately stand out. He manages distance well and keeps opponents reacting instead of initiating. His striking is sharp and efficient, built around clean entries and disciplined exits. What makes Kavanagh compelling is how composed he stays under pressure. He doesn't rush exchanges or overextend. When he controls space and tempo, he turns fights into technical puzzles that favor his accuracy and movement. Kavanagh's game can stall when opponents force layered pressure. While he's sharp at range, he hasn't consistently shown the ability to dominate clinch or grappling phases if distance is taken away. In prolonged exchanges, his offense can become cautious rather than assertive, allowing opponents to build momentum. When he's unable to dictate space and tempo, the fight can flatten out, and his advantages don't always scale under sustained resistance. Let's compare these two fighters' records using the Fighter Index tail of the tape. Stat for stat, Brandon Moreno and Kavanagh show a clear experience gap. Moreno enters at 23 wins, 8 losses, and 2 draws overall, and 11-6 in the UFC, while Kavanagh stands at 9-1 overall with a 2-1 UFC record. Physically, Moreno is 5'7" with a 70-inch reach, compared to Kavanagh at 5'4" with a 67-inch reach, creating a 3-inch height and reach advantage. Both fight orthodox, so the matchup comes down to experience, length, and how those physical edges translate inside the cage. Both Brandon Moreno and Kavanagh enter on a one-fight skid, but their finish profiles look very different. Moreno has 5 knockouts and 11 submissions, with 8 first-round finishes and 7 wins by decision, showing real diversity in how he wins. Kavanagh has 4 knockouts and 1 submission, with 2 first-round finishes and 4 decision wins, reflecting a more striking-led resume. Moreno's record shows layered finishing ability, while Lohner's leans more toward controlled stand-up success. Now it's time to break these fighters down using the Fighter Index scale. We break down each phase of the fight and score each attribute to better understand the strengths and weaknesses of a fighter's game. All Fighter Index scores are based on a scale of 1 to 10. Scores are subjective and can change as a fighter evolves from fight to fight. In Pillar 1, Fight IQ and Athletic Tools, the differences are subtle but meaningful. Brandon Moreno scores an 8 in Fight IQ, slightly ahead of Kavanagh's 7, reflecting deeper 5-round experience and proven mid-fight adjustments. Athletically, Kavanagh edges this category with an 8, compared to Moreno's 7, showing slightly sharper speed and physical pop. In stamina, Moreno regains the edge with an 8 to Kavanagh's 7, backed by sustained output in championship-level fights. The biggest separation comes in resolve. Moreno scores a 9, while Kavanagh sits at 7, highlighting Moreno's proven composure through adversity and momentum swings. Across decision-making, endurance, and mental durability, this pillar favors Brandon Moreno. In Pillar 2, striking and stand-up defense, it starts dead even. Both Brandon Moreno and Kavanagh score an 8 in striking, showing sharp technique and legitimate effectiveness on the feet. In the clinch, Moreno edges ahead with a 7 to Kavanagh's 6, reflecting slightly stronger control and transition work in tight exchanges. Defensively, they're again even, each scoring a 7 in striking defense, meaning both manage distance and avoid damage at a high level. The real separation comes in durability. Moreno carries an 8 in chin, while Kavanagh sits at 6, highlighting Moreno's proven resilience in extended wars. With the edge in clinch work and durability, this pillar favors Brandon Moreno. In Pillar 3, grappling and control, the separation becomes clearer. In wrestling, Brandon Moreno scores a 7 to loner Kavanagh's 6, showing slightly stronger ability to initiate and balance exchanges. That gap widens in takedown offense, where Moreno holds a 7 to Kavanagh's 5, giving him a more reliable path to put fights on the mat. From there, Moreno also leads in top control, 7 to 5, reflecting better positional stability once he secures advantage. The biggest edge comes in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Moreno scores an 8, compared to Kavanagh's 6, highlighting deeper submission layering and transitional danger. From initiation, control, and submission threat, this pillar clearly favors Brandon Moreno. In Pillar 4, defense, scrambles, and ground survival, the margins are tight but consistent. In takedown defense, Brandon Moreno scores an 8 to loner Kavanagh's 7, showing slightly stronger balance and resistance when pressured. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu defense, it's again 8 to 7, reflecting Moreno's proven composure in high-level submission exchanges. Off the back, the gap widens. Moreno holds an 8, while Kavanagh sits at 6, giving Moreno more offensive threat and activity from guard. And in scrambles, Moreno scores a 9 to Kavanagh's 8, showcasing elite transitional ability and chaos. Across defensive layering and movement, this pillar favors Brandon Moreno. Now we look at each fighter's path to victory based on what we learned from the 4 pillars. Brandon Moreno's path to victory is built on pace and layered pressure. He needs to close distance behind combinations, force exchanges that blend striking and grappling, and turn the fight into constant transitions. The more scrambles, the better it is for him. If he can mix takedown threats with clean boxing and make loner Kavanagh defend in multiple phases, the fight starts to tilt. For Moreno, it's about creating chaos on his terms and letting his experience and submission threat take over as the rounds unfold. Loner Kavanagh's path to victory is built on control and discipline. He needs to manage distance, keep the fight at range, and prevent extended scrambles where Moreno thrives. Clean entries, sharp exits, and measured volume will be key. If he can win the striking exchanges without getting drawn into grappling sequences, the fight stays in his comfort zone. For Kavanagh, it's about limiting chaos, defending takedown attempts early, and turning the fight into a technical, tempo-controlled contest. When all 16 attributes are averaged, Brandon Moreno comes in with a 7.8 fighter index score, compared to loner Kavanagh's 6.6. That difference reflects advantages in durability, submission depth, grappling control, and proven composure under adversity. Kavanagh shows strong athleticism and technical sharpness, but Moreno's coverage across more phases creates separation on paper. The numbers point toward Moreno holding the broader edge heading into this matchup. If you have a different score for a fighter, put it in the comments and defend your position. Thanks for watching. You can learn more about your favorite fighters or check out other fight breakdowns by clicking on either of these links.